There's a topic I cover from time to time that always seems to ruffle some feathers and get people squirming in their chairs in anger, because I have less than kind things to say about some of the biggest players in the industry. But I just can't help myself. I can't bite my tongue on it. I'm like Winnie the Pooh poking a beehive because I'm addicted to the honey inside. And in this case, that honey is vindication. For a while now, I have bah-humbugged VTuber agencies. I've seen a lot of the contracts that some of the top talent were locked into with these organizations, and they are extraordinarily corrupt. I think the agencies in this space are exploitative, and they treat their talent more like prisoners. It is unbelievable the depths of greed that these agencies in the VTuber space have succumbed to. But before I dive deeper into the spaghetti and the meatballs on my disdain for VTuber agencies in the industry, I would like to give you the catalyst for why I'm talking about it again today. It's because Ironmouse just made a really sad video about why she's leaving vShojo. vShojo being another huge player in the VTuber space. They are a massive agency that's represented some of the top talent.
Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by vShojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from vShojo.
For those that don't know who Ironmouse is, she is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch in terms of subscribers. She even broke the all-time subscriber record, and she has a primary immunodeficiency disease. She has CVID. So she does a lot of charitable work for this organization, and apparently she's just discovered that vShojo hasn't fully paid what they owed her personally, and they haven't paid the money that they owe to the charitable foundation that she was fundraising for, something that she does often, but vShojo is required in this process because they handle her money in certain cases, which is not uncommon in the space. Like, I'm going to get deeper into like a lot of things with VTuber agencies that I've tiptoed around quite a bit in the past, but I don't want to like fully go into the weeds of it here. But let me just go ahead and explain where that number's coming from, the $500,000 owed to charity that vShojo still hasn't paid.
They promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success. So I decided to do it again the next year. My last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done. The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all-time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked vShojo to make the donation on my behalf, but unfortunately, still a year later, vShojo has not paid the charity.
So in a nutshell, Ironmouse ran a subathon. It was extremely successful and raised a ton of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And vShojo did pay it out the first time around, but when she came back for the second time the following year, it was even bigger, it broke records, and it raised over $500,000 that were supposed to go to the Immune Deficiency Foundation that has still not been paid out to the charitable organization to this day, according to Ironmouse. Now, I've seen a little bit of confusion, people wondering why would vShojo even be handling that money in the first place? Why wouldn't it just come directly from Ironmouse since it's her Twitch? Well, that's where you get into the really stinky territory where in a lot of cases these agencies, they handle the finances of the talent. Like, they put their grubby paws on it before the talent does. So it's not uncommon in the space for the agreement between talent and agency to have the agency directly handle like their Twitch subs and their Twitch revenue and their Twitch ads, that kind of thing. And in the full video, Ironmouse goes deeper into this, so I highly encourage you to check out the full thing for the entire scoop. But in her case specifically, that was actually kind of appealing to her because then she would be able to stay even more private because she really values her anonymity. So having vShojo involved in that process was actually kind of a big deal to her. And for previous fundraising through Tiltify, it wasn't a problem, but when it came to the subathon money, since it was going through Twitch subs and everything, it meant vShojo was going to be involved in this process. And the first time it was fine. It apparently went off without issue. But this time, when the money was even higher, well, some kind of screws must have went loose over there at the vShojo headquarters. I guess that shit just fucking burst into flames or something, and they just haven't got around to it. They're still putting out some fires, and they'll get to it any day now. vShojo would be responsible for donating that money on her behalf, an obligation that they still haven't fulfilled all this time later, according to Iron Mouse. It's diabolical, withholding over $500,000 to charity, and also withholding money that Iron Mouse is allegedly owed as well. And what's even crazier is how unsurprised I am by it. Now, full disclosure, I didn't know too much about vShojo's inner workings. That was one of the few agencies I wasn't super privy to on like the behind the scenes of. But I'd always heard good things, but I always had skepticism because of how the industry functions at the agency level from the other ones I know. And this kind of dirty, scummy, greedy business is just so standard for these agencies in the space. It is sickening. Now, vShojo is going through big turbulence right now. They're losing some of their top talent. Like even before Iron Mouse's video, about a month ago, they made a post about how Giga was going to be departing vShojo. And then just 48 hours later, they announced Zen would also be leaving vShojo, one of their original members. So there's definitely been some, curious Georges out there wondering what's going on at vShojo that's got everyone leaving. What's this exodus from vShojo all about? Fun fact, Giga is actually with us at Cheeky now. We're not like a VTuber agency. That's not what I'm trying to get across. Our soap. She really likes our soap, Cheeky soap. So she's partnered with us at Cheeky. And she is an absolute sweetheart. That's what I was trying to get across. The point is, some like really good people have been leaving vShojo, and now Iron Mouse have dropped this video about some very alleged scummy practices here at the vShojo corporate level, and I don't know how vShojo recovers from it going forward. They haven't made a statement yet. It's still a little too fresh as of me making this video. I'm very curious what they're going to say about it. If I had to spitball, I would imagine that their next play will be donating that money to the charitable foundation. I imagine they donate the $515K to the Immune Deficiency Foundation or whatever the exact number was. I bet they'll do that to desperately try and save face. I don't think the community will respond well to it because it's very clear that they're just doing it now because of the public pressure that's being exerted on them. I don't know how they move forward with a good reputation. I don't think all of their talent's going to leave overnight. I imagine a lot of those contracts, in fact, I'm confident a lot of those contracts lock them down for quite a while with like some non-disparagement clauses in there and everything. Like I bet there is a lot of things at play where the talent won't be able to leave even if they really want to. And I can only hope that the community here doesn't start attacking the vShojo talent for staying, because I imagine in a lot of cases they don't have a choice. Now, that's kind of the situation in a nutshell, but I want to dive deeper into agencies as a whole. I've kind of teased it a little bit throughout the video. And I know people like to talk about VTubing as a whole, like it's some kind of niche that's not mainstream. That couldn't be further from the truth. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it is so lucrative. And these agencies have swooped in and made sure they are the ones getting the lion's share of that money, and they'll kind of trickle down, drip feed a little milk from their titties to the talent that's under their umbrella. And what's even more disgusting is they fed people shit and gave them a taste for it, an acquired palate, normalizing their greed, where the talent, the ones that are actually gathering the audience, the actual VTubers, they don't see most of the money that they bring in. The agency does. That includes merch. That includes their Twitch subs. That includes YouTube revenue. Pretty much any piece of the pie that has dollars, doubloons in it, the agency is the one that's got their fingers in it, and the VTuber gets pieces of it. Tiddlywinks. And I think it is so ass backwards. It has always rubbed me the wrong way. So I've always talked very negatively about VTuber agencies, much to the chagrin of the VTuber audience. The audience that watches VTubers is very loyal to their favorite creators in the space. So they get very upset when the 5'6" Florida man Neanderthal shoots spitballs at the agency that represents their favorite VTuber, because the community, like the relationship between the agency and the VTuber, is one that's supposed to be built on like a tight connection, like this partnership, almost like a family. But nothing could be further from the truth. It's about as much of a family as like the prison warden is to the prisoners. I just think it is completely unacceptable the way a lot of these agencies treat their talent. I also think a lot of people have been completely misled by them on the industry as a whole, where they act like there's only one path to success when it comes to VTubing. Or at least they did, not so much these days. It's starting to kind of get a little more clear that you don't have to sign with them, but for the longest time, it was as if there was only one path to success in the space, which was signing with an agency, where they basically give you a career. They grow you through their network. They give you all the tools to grow, but they basically own you. And I know the argument a lot of people make is, well, they gave you your career. You do owe them like 90% of the money that you generate. That makes sense. Without them, you were nothing. And I just think that is completely delusional. I think you've been brainwashed to think that. It's a little different nowadays where so many people are doing really well independent. There are so many independent VTubers that are crushing it, and a lot of formally contracted talent for agencies have left to be indie and are still doing really well. So it's being proven that you don't need these agencies to succeed as a VTuber. And I understand, like, you know, they do help speed up the growth of the career because then they just plug and play to like their network and just have eyes on you by default. But from everything I've seen, it just never really seems worth the trade-off. Like, you never get a better deal. So like, let's say you start with them and then you explode and become the biggest VTuber in the world. All the ones I've seen, the contracts don't scale with that success, so you still are locked into a bad deal. And now the agency just makes a killing off of your success, and you kind of stay in the same spot, more or less. Like, it just doesn't ever really feel worth it to do that when you can still be very successful without these agencies. And it just sucks to see that it is still so common that these agencies are greedy scumbags, like in this case here with vShojo, apparently. But anyway, I just wanted to yap about this a bit. That's about it. See ya.